So, da kommen auch die ersten. Moin, moin. So. Ja, ich bin auch wieder da aus dem Urlaub und wie man sieht, der hässliche Kirschschrank hinten ist weg. Ich muss heute allerdings hier mit Kopfhörern streamen, weil mein Sound nicht so möchte, wie ich möchte. Aber ich denke mal, sieht ein bisschen affig aus, aber sollte sonst kein Problem sein. Heute machen wir das mal ein bisschen anders. Wir präsentieren nicht die Neuheiten aus unserem Rundbrief, sondern wir präsentieren nur eine Neuheit, und zwar ist das aus der Dingle Distillery die neue Batch-Abfüllung, und zwar Batch Nummer 5. Und dafür haben wir uns einen besonderen Gast hergeholt, und zwar den Graham Coull. Das ist der Distillery Manager und Master Distiller der Dingle Distillery aus Irland. Genau, also heute wird es auf Englisch sein. Moin Manuel. Genau, heute wird es auf Englisch sein. Und genau, wir reden heute mal ein bisschen über Dingle Whisky aus Irland. So, ich hole den Graham jetzt mal dazu. So, hi Graham.
Evening, good evening.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, thank you, yes. Yeah, we've had a lovely spell of weather in Ireland. It hasn't rained for almost 3 weeks, which I think is very unusual. So it's been a lovely springtime for us.
Oh, yeah, nice to hear. So you're working for Dingle Distillery. You're the Distillery Manager.
That's
so
correct.
What are you?
I haven't been here long. I moved across to Ireland in October last year. So previous to that, I was working in Scotch whisky for 25 years.
Okay, wow.
A recent move.
Yeah, so for what distilleries do you work before?
I started working with Glenfiddich and Balvenie Distillery, and then I spent 14 years with Glenmurray Distillery. So all of my work was on Speyside.
Oh, yeah, that's a long time.
Yes, I know. I'm looking good for it though.
So, what was your decision to join Dingle? You're from Ireland, or?
No, I was born in Speyside, so it was quite a step in the career to change from making Scotch whisky to Irish whisky. But I was very intrigued by Dingle Distillery and the Irish whisky industry, because it's booming now. And
yeah, that's happening a lot.
Dingle Distillery was the first to launch in 2012, the end of 2012. So for me, the distillery now is 7 years old. It's a very exciting time in a distillery's life, because you're really just coming through to maturity now. So the next 5-10 years are very interesting to see the spirit develop, and really for the distillery to define itself, amongst other whiskies.
Yeah, it's a funny time right now. I went to Dingle, I think it was right now 10 years ago, and obviously the distillery wasn't there at that time, but I just watched some videos today. You're very working with local people, aren't you? Like a lot with the pub society in Dingle and all these guys.
Yeah, Dingle is a small town on the very far west coast of Ireland, so it's pretty remote. It's an hour's drive from any other major town, and it's on a peninsula, an outlying stretch of land. So it has to be quite self-sufficient. So the community really do get together to support the distillery by the people working here, but also you've got a great network in the town with businesses working. The pubs are obviously selling Dingle whiskey, Dingle gin, Dingle vodka, and we also have a local ice cream manufacturer making gin ice cream. So there's a lot of sharing of help, and hopefully trying to grow Dingle as a town itself.
Yeah, the one thing I remember from Dingle is your dolphin Fungi.
Fungi, yes, he's fine. I haven't been out in a boat to see him yet. We were saving that for a nice day, and unfortunately, we've had the nice days, but with all that's happening just now, the trips out to see fungi are not happening. But as soon as we get the chance, we'll be out to see him.
Yeah, he's not far from your distillery, right? It's like it looked very close on Google Maps.
No, the distillery looks out onto Dingle Bay, and that's his home. So yeah, he's not far away. He's you 2 or 3 minutes on a boat, and you can see him.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe you can introduce us a bit to Dingle Distillery, like.
Okay, so well, Dingle, as I said, the distillery started at the end of 2012, making whiskey, but also making gin and vodka as well, which were very useful for the distillery in the early days. And they've also shown the customers that the quality of spirit that Dingle can make. So the gin and vodka led the way. The whiskey obviously had to wait a few years to come of age, but we're not only making single malt whiskey, triple distilled, but we're also making what we call pot still as well, which has a mixed mash bill, different cereals in the mash. So 2 styles of whiskey, both triple distilled. And as I say, the oldest whiskey now is around 6-7 years old.
Yeah, sounds good. So you're also doing gin and vodka. Did you distill gin and vodka before in your career?
No, it's something new to me. So again, that was an interest to challenge myself at this stage in my career to pick up that different style of distillation. Thankfully, they're both traditionally pot distilled, so the similarities are quite there in terms of how the actual spirit is distilled in a copper still. So that side of things came quite naturally to me. But yeah, no, it's been interesting to look at that side of things as well.
Okay. Yes. Good to hear that you also can still learn a lot.
Well, I think in whiskey you're always learning. There's always something new, and it's actually quite refreshing to keep up with the changes, and especially in Ireland as well, because there's so many new distilleries coming through. I think there's over 30 distilleries now, so it's great to keep tabs on how they're doing and seeing what everybody's trying to do to make their own mark on the business.
Yeah. Are there big differences from distilling in Scotland to Ireland and general production, like fermentation?
Dingle's very, very traditional. We have a wooden mash tun, which I'd never seen before. It's very unique. It's a 1-ton mash tun. So if you imagine, some of your listeners will have seen a wooden washback. Well, this looks exactly the same. So it's a very, very simple process to mash in. We've then got, there we go, that's easier, show the photos. Yeah. We've then got 5 wooden washbacks, which we ferment for 72 hours. So that's a generous time for fermentation. It helps build up the esters within the fermentation and inevitably your fruity character. The main difference between Scotland and Ireland is when you walk into Dingle, you see 3 stills, where in Scotland you tend to see just pairs of stills. So you have a wash still, an intermediate still, and a spirit still. So the spirit is actually distilled 3 times before it becomes unique spirit.
Yeah. Looks like it looks very cool, your distillery. It's with the big wooden washbacks.
Yeah, it's a lovely, a lovely warm distillery, because basically it's all in one area. So you get all the smells as you walk through. You can smell the mash as you come in, and then the fermentation, the carbon dioxide, the fruity character, and then when the stills are being charged and discharged, you get a whiff of the faints and the foreshots coming off as well. So it's it's a lovely sort of sensation on your senses to wander through the distillery.
Yeah. Juliet is asking, do you miss Elgin as much as Elgin is missing you?
Well, I was born in Elgin and obviously worked most of my days in Elgin, so yeah, I miss Elgin. Built up a great rapport with the community there, and Speyside's a great place for making whiskey. But hopefully, we'll be back at some point. We'll be back to visit and share stories. So the world's a small place now.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a new bottling. The new batch 5, it's the single malt. Yeah, right. Maybe you can explain a bit about the new bottling.
So we're now reached batch 5 single malt releases. So Dingle has obviously released 5 batches up till now. Batch 1 was obviously the first, and as you go through from batch 1 to batch 5, you'll see different cask types being used at each time, different expressions, different flavours. So batch 5 itself is a combination of 3 cask types, which is bourbon cask, sweet sherry, Pedro Jimenez, and also Madeira cask as well. So three different cask types lending their own special character to the final whiskey.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're using different kind of casks every batch.
It helps to offer something different, because consumers now in whiskey they're craving something different all the time. So mixing up the casks helps from that point of view. But as I say, it also helps from the flavour point of view. With whiskey, which is 6-7 years old, it does help to have those different characters coming in from each cask, because they help each other to balance each other out and smooth off the edges. So 2 to 3 cask types is ideal. Batch 5 as well, this is the first time that Madeira casks have been used in an expression, and they're particularly quite hard to get, so it's nice to introduce them as well.
Yeah, like, do you have are you organizing the casks, or do you have a special guy for that?
No, I organise the cask. It's one of my favourite things. Managed to get a trip to Spain before lockdown, so that was enjoyable to go and source some fresh casks for future bottling. So casks is very important. It's important to make the spirit obviously very consistent, but the quality of the cask is almost essential to the end product. So it's worth investing a bit of time in that selection and investing a bit of money as well. And Dingle are certainly not shy to put the hand in the pocket and buy some very, very good casks.
Yeah. So what is the difference? You have 2 ranges: it's the single malt and the pot still releases.
Yes. So single malt is up to now batch 5. There have been 3 pot still releases now. Pot still, simply, the difference between pot still and single malt is that single malt can contain only malted barley as your cereal, whereas pot still can contain unmalted cereals. And for us, that's generally unmalted barley in the mix. So it adds a different character to the whiskey. It almost the raw barley gives a creaminess to it, and a lovely spicy edge as well. So they are 2 quite different drinks, and it's interesting to see, as they become older, the difference between single malt and pot still, because they are quite different.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds quite interesting. It's not usual, or it's usually in Ireland. But are there other countries from that doing this stuff?
No, I mean, pot still is unique to Ireland, and again, that was a really interesting thing for me to get my teeth into. I'd never heard of pot still really before I moved to Dingle. So again, it's
Okay.
another way to experiment. Where you can throw in other cereals like rye and oats as well, and just see what character that they give to it. So it's nice to have different things to play with.
Yeah.
And for the end result.
Stephen brought some new make to Nuremberg this year.
They did. There's not much left in that bottle.
No. The Nuremberg guys are always interested in this stuff. So it's a new make pot still, 70 ABV.
Yes. So for those that don't know much about new make is the spirit that comes off the still, and it's a clear liquid. When you triple distill, your new make spirit will come off the still a bit stronger than a double distillation. You'll be up near 80% alcohol, whereas a double distillation you'll be at 70% alcohol ABV. So we then reduce that in strength slightly before we put it into the cask because it helps the maturation process. So we reduce to 65% before we enter the cask.
Whether in the nose the pot still new make is different already to like the normal new make we smell or taste from Scotland or other Irish single malts.
Yeah, it has this creamy edge. It obviously has a bit more of a cereal edge to it because the barley is raw, so you're getting those raw characters coming from the barley. Maybe not quite so sweet as a single malt new make either.
Yeah. So so we want to try this one.
Well, I've got one here.
I
may well have tried it earlier just to make
you
sure.
better prepared. I just give it a sip.
So the expression, the bulk of the expression is bottled at 46.5% ABV. That allows us to reduce the strength, but we don't have to chill filter at that strength. So the whiskey has not gone cloudy; it's naturally clear, and it's a great strength to drink whiskey at. It gives you the chance to maybe add a little bit of water yourself if you want to, but it's a perfectly acceptable strength just to sip away straight away. And also the lower than cask strength helps on the nose as well. You can actually get your nose physically into the glass and have a wee sniff of it as well without it burning your nose. So it helps on both counts.
Yeah, but are the PX and Madeira casks are finished, or is it full maturation?
Full maturation.
Full maturation. Okay.
That's one thing that Dingle has been very good at is putting spirit into casks at day one. Into good casks and a good range of casks. So I've never seen such a high percentage of PX Pedro Jimenez casks filled with new make as they are here. So the sherry cask, we fill almost 40% of our annual production into sherry.
Okay, well, the German love the PX casks.
Well, there's quite a few coming through, and also, as I said, we've got single malt in PX and also pot still as well. So it'll be nice as Dingle whiskey gets older. You start to see more single types of cask expressions because they'll be able to stand on their own. So you will see, a full-blown PX expression or also sherry or Madeira. So got that to look forward to.
Okay, I think your iPad just moved a bit. You're a bit hard to understand now.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, that's better. Thanks.
Okay. I think we should have a drink of this, should we?
Yeah, sure.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's very, very fruity in the nose already, but also very smooth.
So you with the three casks, you've got them all lending their own individual character. So bourbon cask tends to give you that lovely rounded vanilla edge. So ice cream, candy floss type sweetness. But then the Pedro Jimenez and the Madeira are more wine based, so you get the raisiny wine character from the Pedro Jimenez, and you get a bit of sort of burnt sugar caramelization from the Madeira as well. So lots of different fruity, sweet characters coming through,
Yeah.
and they layer upon each other.
Oh yeah, I like it. That's a good whiskey for the springtime.
It's not too heavy. I was careful with the cask mix. You can go too far one way, and too much Pedro Jimenez or too much Madeira would tend to push it to the heavier dry side. So the bourbon has a very important part to play in keeping it light and keeping it fruity and keeping it lively and spicy as well.
Do you have have a cask strength version of this one?
We do. Up till now, the batches have released. We're up to around about 30,000 bottles in a batch, but we've always released 500 at cask strength as well.
Okay.
So they do tend to sell very quickly.
Yeah, I trust.
It's something we're looking at for the future is, to continue that, but also maybe to look at some more maybe specific single cask bottlings.
Yeah,
get older, we can mix it up.
Steven brought some nice port cask, 5 years old.
Yeah, yes. Port, we fill around 10 to 15%. I'm aiming to try and fill that per year. Port's a wonderful cask. It works young, it works old. So, yep, that's definitely one that I'll maintain in our cask policy for as long as we can.
So we're looking forward to get some single cask soon, maybe. Sounds good.
Yeah, I think. Well, I know Stephen. I've had discussions with Stephen already about it, and it's something that I think we're both interested to do because it's a lovely way to show off what your distillery can do.
What did it with this man on the bottle?
So he's the Rain Man, and he's a symbol of Dingle, and they basically they celebrate him every year.
Okay.
We missed out on it this year. It happens on St. Stephen's Day, 26th of December. We were back in Scotland, but I believe it's a very good excuse for a party.
Yeah, in general, it's a very nice bottle. Very heavy. It's
there's when you come to Dingle Distillery, it sounds a bit cheesy to say it, but there's no corners cut. Everything is done consistently and with time and effort. So and that comes through in the packaging as well. There's everything's solidly made and solidly presented, and on solid foundations. So that's something that we will maintain at the distillery to be true to our roots and true to our traditions.
Yeah, so I also saw you have your own bottling line, so you're doing everything on your own.
Yes, yeah, we bottle. We obviously do all the mashing, fermentation, distillation, bottling, labeling, packing. Even in the last few weeks, we've been hand bottling and labeling hand sanitizer bottles. So that's been interesting as well. So we'll turn our hands to most things.
Yeah. So Matthias is asking, how do you describe the distillery character of the new make spirit?
Okay, it's I think you've got the single malt and the pot still. So the single malt's nice and light and fruity. One thing about Dingle as well, our distillation rates are very slow. They're not fast at all. The slowest I've certainly seen. So that gives lots of interaction with the copper and the pot still. So you strip out flavours that you don't particularly want, and you retain the sweet estery flavours that you do want. So that comes through, and it delivers a nicely balanced, final new make spirit with lots of fruity character in there.
I just found to find the picture. Yeah, this one. Like, it's impressive. So, are all these people who are helping founding the Dingle Distillery?
Yes, they're what's called the founding fathers. So they're a group of people who invested in distillery in the early days. They basically bought a cask, which is their own cask, and they can now bottle at maturity. So they invested money. Some of them invested money long before the distillery had even made any whiskey. So they were pretty brave at putting their money up front into something that was completely unique in Ireland. But certainly, yeah, their support has give the distillery a real good start in its whiskey making career. Again, we have a party every year with the founding fathers, which hopefully we'll squeeze in this year at some point. So it is a very much a family affair with the support of the founding fathers.
Yeah, that's good. Andre is asking, what kind of sherry and wine casks do you have? Will there be a peated in the future? I just found this one with all the Oloroso casks.
Yeah, so we tend to fill Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez. They would be the biggest percentage. This year I've taken in some Fino casks as well. Muscatel, we fill wine casks. I took in a couple of cask types from Australia. Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon. So yeah, there's an interesting mix maturing in the warehouse, and I'm looking to add to that and bring in other casks for other flavors. On the peated question, yes, I was first to make peated spirit at Glenfiddich and Glenmurray and Speyside, so I've done the same thing at Dingle and come here and made a week's worth of peated single malt. So yeah, that's something that will be interesting for the future.
Okay, so are there any other projects, maybe with the gin or vodka?
Gin wise, we're looking at what we can do with different botanicals and just to offer something different. So yeah, we're working on that just now.
And how much, or you have to how to say, how much of the percentage of production is gin and vodka, and how much is whiskey?
Okay, so at the moment, the gin would outstrip the whiskey probably 2 to 1. Whiskey and vodka sale volumes would be around about the same in volume terms, but the whiskey will ramp up over the next few years and certainly match the gin volumes and probably overtake them at some point.
Okay, but I also read you will always do small batches, so you never want to explode the volumes.
No, not at all. It's at the moment we're working 2 shifts per day, and so there is a little bit of scope there to add in a bit more production. But the stills are small. The gin still isn't particularly big either. So there are no plans to change. I think we'll always be quite a smaller volume niche producer of whiskey, gin, and vodka.
And how many batches of single malt you release every year? Like,
at the moment, there's only been 1 single batch per year. We are probably heading to a point where we could release 2 batches per year. Or, on the other hand, we are possibly heading towards somewhere where we could possibly produce a core range every year with maybe an age statement as well, because we're not far away from double figures and 10 years old. So that definitely is on the horizon.
yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so is there anything you want to say to the German whiskey friends?
All I would like to say is you're all very welcome to visit the distillery when things improve. It's much better to taste whiskey at its source where it's made. So you're all very welcome to come and see me, and I'll gladly share a whiskey with you when you arrive. So yeah, all I can say is cheers to everybody and see you again hopefully soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, so you have a visitor center, obviously, so you can, how many tours do you a day?
We do, in the summer, there can be up to 6 tours per day. It's quite a busy place. We get almost 18,000 visitors a year. And
Okay.
you know, when you see the size of the distillery, it's not very big, so it is pretty busy in peak times.
Yeah, yeah, hi Whiskey Jane. So, okay. Yeah. Thank you very much
No problem. Thank you.
for spending your time. And yeah, we're looking forward to get some more nice whiskies from Dingle soon, hopefully.
Excellent. Thank you. Cheers, Ed.
Bye bye.
Bye. Cheers.
So, ja. Genau, also der Verkauf vom Batch 5 ist heute gestartet in Deutschland. So sieht das, ja, es ist wieder hier mit dem Licht. Ich muss mal gucken. So, genau, so sieht das Ganze aus. Und genau, ja, hoffentlich in der Zukunft vielleicht auch solche Single Cars, wer weiß. So ein paar Leute hatten vielleicht in Nürnberg die Gelegenheit, das zu probieren. Ist auf jeden Fall sehr spannend, was dort passiert in Dingle. Ich freue mich auf jeden Fall drauf. Und genau, ja, heute mal ein bisschen kürzeres Video. Ich werde trotzdem natürlich noch die Neuheiten aus dem Newsletter jetzt die Tage bei Facebook posten. Also ihr könnt noch mal gucken, da ist heute ein bisschen was gekommen. Und ja, ich wünsche euch einen schönen Abend. Ne? Dann sehen wir uns nächste Woche. Ciao, ciao.